Hey, today I'm going to take you through a basic paving stone installation. This will be sort of a beginner's guide to paving stones just to see all the steps, and then I can get into some more advanced kind of scribing and cutting techniques after, but this will show you sort of an overview of everything that needs to be done. So we go from our base prep to finished road base height and really nice and flat, and then we go to screeding using some nice 1-inch bars. And then we lay out our pattern and infill, and then we'll cut it all in and finish. So let's look at the steps. This will be our side profile of what it should look like for pedestrian traffic. 4 to 6 inches of road base, 1 inch of sand, and then our paver. And now we're going to start screeding. We want our paver to be laid on the sand about 1/4 inch above the existing concrete here. That way when we compact it, it will go down to just a hair above the concrete. So that'll be our finished height. So the road base should have been pretty close, but really we want to make sure that the bars are just set exactly to our finished height against any other hard surface. And now I'm going to start screeding. So I'm just using a nice straight edge to pull back across the bars that I've laid to pull the sand really nice and flat and get an exact 1-inch layer. And then we start on our basic pattern. So this is a random pattern, and we're using number 1s, 2s, and 3s, and actually 3 different colors. So it gets a little complicated, but you can keep it as simple as you need to get started. And from there, we're basically just transferring that pattern onto the ground and filling it out until we reach our edges. And our edges are where we're going to have to start making cuts. So we'll see some basic cutting and marking here. All I'm doing is lining up the pavers in the pattern to the ones that I've already laid, and then looking straight down on top, making 2 marks, 1 on each end, and then going ahead and lining those up on the saw. I don't like to overmark the paver just in case, because I'm using crayon, it actually sticks around pretty good on them. So I just want to make 2 little marks, and then I can line that up with a nice straight blade of the saw. And I'm using the IQ Power Tools dustless saw in this case, which has a nice really big tray, so I can line up a couple pavers in a row and do a whole little section at a time. So we're just going to place them in there, make sure they fit really well, and trim if we need to. And this is a cross-section of our standard concrete curb. We use sort of the leftover material on the edges of the installation, mix it with cement, and use that as our edging material to hold everything in place. You can use a plastic edging as well, as long as you have good road base on the sides to spike it into. And now we're sweeping in our polymeric sand. So we'll do this in a couple phases. First we sweep everything in, and then we'll compact. First I like to touch up the edges with a hand tamper, just to make sure everything sets really nice. And then we're going to run our plate compactor over the surface, making sure to overlap each row just slightly. And we want to set the sand into the pavers, as well as compact the pavers down. So we're going to go in one direction, and then we're going to sweep in more sand and repeat, and go in another direction, and then back across to make sure that there's no high or low points. Everything gets compacted down really well. And you can see I did some scribing along the edge there, which I'll do in a later video, and a nice clean finished surface after we spray and lock in our polymeric sand. Let me know if you have any questions about this install, and I look forward to sharing more with you. Don't forget to like and subscribe too. See you soon.